Today I'd like to take a look at quotes in the New Testament, specifically when quotes do not agree with each other. We're looking at a statement attributed to Jesus by all four gospel writers. This is the foretelling of Peter's denial of Jesus. And what we're going to see is four quotes with variations in all of them. No two of them are the same. Sometimes people argue when accounts in the Gospels don't perfectly agree with each other that the event happened multiple times and the variations are differences between the occurrences. But I've never heard anyone argue that the Last Supper happened more than one time and that this discussion between Peter and Jesus happened more than one time. So it's generally accepted at the Last Supper, Peter states that if everyone were to abandon Jesus, he would never do so. And Jesus tells him that he would, in fact, in this very night, deny Jesus 3 times. Let's begin with a quick English reading of all four accounts from the ESV. Matthew 26:34, Jesus said to him, "Truly I tell you, this very night before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times." Mark 14:30, and Jesus said to him, "Truly I tell you, this very night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." Luke 22:34, Jesus said, "I tell you, Peter, the rooster will not crow this day until you deny 3 times that you know me." And then John 13:38, Jesus answered, "Will you lay down your life for me? Truly, truly, I say to you, the rooster will not crow till you have denied me 3 times. So, quick housekeeping. Jewish timekeeping. A day begins at sunset. So, days run from sunset today until sunset tomorrow. So, when Jesus is talking about this day, and they've already been at supper, at the Last Supper, this day means in the morning, right? So they've already started the day at sunset, and it will still be today when the sun rises tomorrow morning, what we think of as tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at Matthew and Mark in Koine. We're going to go quickly through the Koine because the content isn't as important as to have you see that the wording varies here, that the structure of the sentences varies. So these 4 quotes of Jesus are different. Each and every one of the 4 is different from the others. So first up, Matthew. En taute te nukti, let's stop right there. In this very night. So when we have taute, the pronoun, in front of the noun it's modifying, nukti, which is night, and these are all in the dative case, what we're getting is intensification. The this is intensifying night. In this very night, prin electora phonesai, prior or before a rooster crows, tris, 3 times, aparnese, you shall deny, this is in the future tense, me. So, in this very night, before a rooster crows, you shall deny me 3 times. Let's go to Mark. Su semeron, you today, su, you, semeron, today, you today, taute te nukti, in this very night, or this very night, prin, before, hedes electora phonesai, before a rooster even crows twice, tris me aparnese, 3 times you shall deny me. So notice they're making fundamentally the same statement, but the wording is quite different. The way they say it is quite different. And Mark has the rooster crowing twice rather than just crowing the first time. Let's go to Luke and John. Luke tells us, Petre, in the vocative case, Peter, uphonese semeron elector, a rooster shall not crow today, Heos, until tris me aparnese, and there we have that familiar phrase, you shall deny me 3 times, but not just deny me, deny. You shall deny to know me. You shall deny knowing me 3 times. How about John? Ume, a double negation, intensifying the negation. Ume elector phonese. A rooster shall certainly not crow, Heos, until huarnese me tris, until you shall have denied me 3 times. So in the 4 quotations I say, the commonalities are many. The vocabulary is largely the same, but the sentence structure varies, right? We see that Mark has the rooster crow twice. We see that he emphasizes Peter up front. Matthew omits today, and Luke and John postpone the crowing using Heos, until. So this thing isn't going to happen until this other thing happens. The rooster won't crow until you have denied me 3 times. But when we go back, we don't have Matthew or Mark using the word until. So what? Why are we talking about this? Because to ignore the variations in the individual accounts of the 4 writers is to ignore the individuality of the 4 writers. The variations show that these men are penmen and not pens. They were not seized by God or by the Spirit of God and communicated through to the extent that their individuality vanishes. How can I so boldly make that statement? Because if God was quoting the words that Jesus spoke that night, we should and would expect 4 verbatim quotes. We would have identical accounts. The only reason to panic at these variations in the telling of a story is if your interpretation requires, if your hermeneutic is dependent upon verbal inspiration, that these men were seized and that this is from God's mouth, not from these men's recollections or understandings. Because if God did it, to reiterate, the quote should be exact, but the quotes are not exact. None of the quotes agree with the others completely. And the point of the story isn't a verbatim quote. The point of the story is that Peter's bold assertions will be proven false when the morning comes and Jesus' predictions come true. That Peter will in fact have denied Jesus. The quote, or I should say the story, is not about the rooster. It's not about how many times the rooster will crow. It's not about whether it's today in this night or in this very night or the rooster shall surely not crow. It's not about that language. It's about the fact that Peter is so cocksure about his devotion and he's so utterly wrong about it that he will in fact deny his Lord 3 times before the sun is fully up and before the morning has fully gotten started. But don't panic. The text says what it says, and it reveals differences in the writers and how they understood the story. The only reason to panic is if the texts are contradicting each other. Are they telling a different story? Is the story fundamentally different? It's not. Peter makes the bold assertion. Jesus predicts that he's going to deny him. And in the fullness of time, each of the 4 writers tells us that Jesus was right and Peter was wrong about himself and the absolutism in his devotion. If the Gospels were identical, there'd be no reason to have 4 of them. There would just be one. But we have 4 stories telling the same story in different ways with different details and different emphases, and that allows us a richer understanding, and it allows different audiences to hear different points of interest and emphasis, and for that there should be no panic. If you're panicky about the differences, you have to ask yourself some questions about your understanding of inspiration and whether the writers were pens in God's hand or whether they were God's penmen who spoke in their own voice as they understood, remembered, or had been informed. Thanks for watching. Hope that was good for you. If it was, you know what to do. And until next time, Charis Kairene Humin, grace and peace to you.